May I now request the Head Department of Botany, Dr. Ranjita Savekar ma'am, to kindly escort the dignitaries to the dais. Thank you all. To formally begin the program, I now invite Shriveni Dani ma'am to deliver the welcome address and introduce our esteemed resource person.
Good morning. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all for today's lecture on plants and people, past, present and prospects, under the late Dr. V.D. Vartak Birth Centenary Year Lecture Series organized by our college in association with Maharashtra Vriksha Samvardhini. With heartfelt gratitude and appreciation, I welcome our esteemed guest, Professor M.K. Janardhanam Sir, Chairperson, Goa State Research Foundation. I also welcome our principal, Professor Vikas Pisuldekar Sir, Head Department of Botany, Dr. Ranjita ma'am, and Bhageshri Halankar ma'am. I also welcome all the faculty members and dear students present over here. As we commemorate birth centenary year, let us know the contribution of Dr. V.D. Vartak Sir. Dr. V.D. Vartak, born on 19 November 1925, was a distinguished botanist associated with Agarkar Research Institute, Pune, where he was mentored by Professor S.P. Agarkar and later served as director. His early work on the flora of Maharashtra, hill forts, led to the establishment of Agarkar Research Institute's herbarium. Dr. Vartak focused on sacred groves and ethnobotany, contributing 117 scientific papers and 100 plus Marathi publications. Between 1950 and 1964, he conducted extensive field visits across various parts of Gomantak and surrounding areas, including Castle Rock, Dudhsagar, Anmod, Marmugava, Panji, Fonda, and Savantwadi. The culmination of this effort was the publication of Flora of Gomantak in 1966, which served as a pioneering botanical reference for the region, previously which was largely unexplored area in terms of plant studies. His contribution drew attention to the ecological uniqueness of Gomantak and played a crucial role in advancing botanical research in the Western Ghats. 4 plant species have been named in his honor. Owing to the immense contribution in the field of plant sciences, Maharashtra Vriksha Samvardhini is commemorating 2024-25 as birth centenary year in honor of Dr. V.D. Vartak by organizing lecture series and related programs aimed at creating awareness about plant sciences. As a part of this initiative, we are all gathered here. Today, we have amongst us one of the gems in the field of plant sciences, having extensively worked on Western Ghats, Dr. Malapati K. Janardhanam Sir, who is well-known figure having multifaceted personality. He is a teacher, researcher, administrator, guide and a motivator. Professor Janardhanam Sir is a distinguished botanist and the current chairperson of the Goa State Research Foundation. A retired senior professor from Goa University, he is leading expert in angiosperm taxonomy with a research focus on the endemic plants of Western Ghats. Sir has discovered 1 new plant genus, 13 new species and identified over 400 new plant records for Goa. Sir has the rare distinction of having 6 different plant species named in his honor, such as Utricularia janardhanami and Curculago janardhanami, and has been recognized with major awards including the Goa State Research Award, the Todd F. Stussy Award and the Professor V.V. Sivarajan Gold Medal. He has published 85 journal articles, co-authored 4 books and has guided 12 PhD students. Dr. Janardhanam Sir has led numerous significant roles, including officiating Vice Chancellor of Goa University, President of the Indian Association for Angiosperm Taxonomy, and has served on high-level committees activities for national bodies like CSIR, DPT and Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. To tell you all, there is a lot to know and understand about Sir's contribution, achievements and honors in detail. But as Sir always says, we have to be precise and concise. So this is in brief introduction about Sir. So now I once again welcome Professor Janardhanam Sir and also express this sense of gratitude for accepting our invitation. Welcome Sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Plants are symbol of life, knowledge and deep-rooted values. Requesting Pin Principal Sir to kindly welcome Professor Janardhanam Sir with a potted plant to express the deep feelings of appreciation. Thank you, sir. May I now request our respected principal, Professor Vikas Pisulekar, sir, to kindly address the gathering.
A very good morning to you all. When we are celebrating the centenary year of Vaman Dattatreya Vartak, although he was born in Gori near Pune, he has done a pioneering work in identifying more than 28,000 plant species, not only in Maharashtra, but as Sriveni has already told you, he has extensively worked also in Goa. And although there are only 4 plant species named after him, we have got an equally good botanist of the level of Professor Vartak in the form of Professor Janardhanam. And as you know, 6 plant species are named after him. But one thing is, both of them were not born and brought up in Goa. So, Vartak was from Pune, Professor Janardhanam is from Tamil Nadu, but they have done a wonderful work as far as botany, the ethnobotany is concerned, the taxonomy is concerned, of the Goan plant species. I really appreciate and welcome you, sir, for this particular talk. With me is also Dr. Ranjita Savaikar, the head Department of Botany and convener for this particular talk. I also got a senior teacher in the Department of Botany, Associate Professor Mrs. Anita Pakeshri Naralkar, all my other colleagues from the different botany as well as other departments and dear students. See, why we need this type of talk and why we should remember Dr. V.D. Vartak was born in 1925. This 24-25 is being celebrated as a centenary year. And as I said, after his interest in botany, he graduated from Ferguson College, then did his PhD under Agarkar institution under Professor Agarkar, then went on to become the director of the Agarkar institution. But throughout his life, he was involved in plants. But I was just looking at one of the video which is there on YouTube. You can also see he is sitting on the ground and around him there are many pages, and on each page there are figures or pictures drawn of the plants. So sitting on the ground, sitting virtually, Asarmani Galulbastilla, a old man, because this he must have done probably after his retirement. But you can see him having so much love for plant and plant species. Not only he found out 28,000 plant species, but then he also did lot of work in what is called as a sacred grove. Not only that, he went to the extent of the state of Maharashtra and the state of, the country as whole, to see that these sacred groves are protected, conserved. Why? Because there is lot of biodiversity, lot of culture in these sacred groves. Along with Madhav Gadgil, today if you see the Western Ghat or Sahyadri mountains as we call it, because Goa also happens to be part of this Western Ghat. All this biodiversity which is being protected, being conserved, although in last many years you might see now slowly and steadily our forests are going away, our plant species are getting extinct, the animal species are getting extinct. But these were the people who really fought that their protection, their conservation should be there for the posterity, for young people like you to see and our future generation to see. The sustainable development that we talk about, if we just, because we are human beings, we are one of the highly developed species on this planet. So therefore, if we start destroying everything around us in greed to have materialistic benefit, I think this is not good. And therefore, you young people who are in the age of 17 to 20, you have got real responsibility. You yourself should first get convinced that we need environment, we need plant species, we need animal species, because we have to coexist peacefully with them. And if you can get convinced, I think then you can convince your family, you can convince your neighbor, you can convince the society. And if such movement happens from you, then only I think this beautiful earth is going to remain for posterity. Otherwise, 100 years down the line, I don't know what is going to happen with lot of climate changes that is happening, and since the temperature is ever increasing because of a lot of energy being used, the fossil fuels being used and carbon dioxide being produced, we don't know what is going to happen. So we can reverse all this. And to reverse all this, you should become the pioneers, the ambassadors of all these change. Then only I think this is going to sustain. And therefore, such program in which we remember Dr. Vartak and where the Professor Janardhanam is going to tell you what these plants, people and all the past, I think this is what we should take forward. Then only I feel Goa, India will remain beautiful as ever, and this planet will remain for our posterity. I congratulate the Department of Botany for putting up this particular program. This is not the only program. We also intend to have a national level seminar later in the year in the memory of Dr. V.D. Vartak. Okay, and I'm really thankful that Professor Janardhanam has accepted our invitation to be here, okay, with us, and his lecture next 1 hour will be definitely enlightening to you. Thank you very much for listening.
With Dr. Vartak, Junior Vartak, I can say, to conduct this. But last year when we started, everyone was busy. Then they said we will do this year. This year also I am trying, it's not happening. But good that it is. You took the lead, Dr. Rajendra, and thank you. Once again, sir, thank you once again. Before you leave only, I would love to do this. And as we go, why I chose this topic? Because this is close to Dr. Vartak's heart. And today is a very, very important day. I don't know whether you chose rightfully or without knowing. Today is International Day of World Indigenous Peoples. Otherwise, you put it shortly, World Tribals Day. It is also related to ethnobotany. I think there cannot be a better day than this for choosing. So with this session, as I go, I would like to say that at least two people here are fortunate to meet Dr. Vartak. When they were students, we went to Coimbatore. We were in the Museum of Botanical Survey of India. And they were looking at things and I was explaining two things. Then one very senior person came. And asked us, are you from Goa? I said, how do you know, sir? He said, you are speaking Konkani. Not me, these people. Then I got very curious. I said, sir, may I know who you are? I said, I am Vartak. That was the only time I met Vartak. plants and people. We also worked on several areas. I'll come to that. Let us dedicate this lecture to his contributions in this century. Of course, already Sriveni Miss has introduced about Dr. Bhattak. I don't know how many of you have seen that book. That is the cover page of the book. And this was the first publication on botany after Goa's liberation in 1966. That was by Dr. Bhattak. It's not just a taxonomy book. It is both ecology and taxonomy combined together. And I have not seen that kind of flora either before that or after that. So that shows his greatness in perceiving the subject. Of course, since you are all BSc student, you may not. So with this, as we celebrate this centenary year, how to celebrate this? Why he chose to work? For that we have to understand, he chose to work on plants and he chose to work on the interaction of the people with the plants. That is why I chose this title. So it's a very, very vast area. You can go on talk for 2 days. But since I assume that there is a time constraint, there is dispute whether they started consuming grains really or tubers really. But most of the evidences show that they started consuming tubers really because they were growing wild and they were digging and eating, then they are common. But when we say this is also known as paleo diet. People, you go for swimming centers and all, they say paleo diet because most of these small grains are not having a lot of carbohydrates. That will, it will take a lot of time to digest, all those kind of things. So we are collecting and eating. The domestication of grain started some 11,000 years ago. Some people say up to 13,000 years ago. That was when the ice age was receding and the temperature was warming up. That was the time they started growing all these kind of things. So this is about, now we will come to one conclusion on this slide. Tubers on one side and grains on the other side. Now, what is the tuber you are eating the most these days? You can answer yes, it is like interaction. What is the tuber you eat the most? Potato. Where from the potato has come? From market. No, not that. It has come from South America. You understood? Potato is not ours. So what were the tubers we were eating earlier? Other kandas are there, no katakanda and those kind of things we were eating. And we have forgotten that. If time permits, we will discuss those kind of things little later. Right? So this is one. Now if you think only human beings know how to use this and all, of course every animal eats, right? But some animals, they also eat them as a medicine. And one of the best example is here. Okay, Gymnanthemum amygdalinum, it's a astraceae, compositive number, those who know, is used by chimps, as a medicine, for various purposes. Lot of articles have come. They use it for keeping the stomach, control the stomach problems, including those ascaris and those kind of infestation, and many more. And there are some studies which documented some chimps traveling almost 30-35 kilometers in search of a medicinal plant for some particular problem. So that means when we talk about medicinal botany may not be just by the human beings. Probably people started observing them and copying this one. So at least some medicinal plants knowledge may not be our original knowledge. Maybe we will start copying from the plants. We don't know. It's only a speculation. And in Paleolithic era, for example, another human species means ours, but our cousins we can say, Neanderthal, okay, human being. 60,000 years ago, in their burial sites, they have seen some remnants of the plants. Whether they have used it for medicinal purposes or whether they are them as for ritualistic purposes, we don't know. For example, this month, the Shravan month is very important month for us. We use a lot of plants for worshipping God. Okay, for example, Aitar Puja, whatever it is, and it's basically ritual. But whether it has really only ritual or it has come from something, we don't know. Something when we use the tulsi, some people will interpret, okay, tulsi is a very good medicinal plant, so that we worship. But for other plants, we don't have this explanation. So we have to look that way, that we don't know most of the cases whether it is purely ritualistic or it is because of the medicinal properties. So this is one. So I am putting few points, showing some points here and there, so that when they grow up, it will form a good canopy in your minds about the plants. So we have seen two things. One is about the food, another one is about the ritualistic as well as the medicinal. That's all. This is the crux of whole of our discussion. Over, lecture is over. Now we are going to discuss. Other than that, there is nothing when we talk about the plants and people. So why do you say so? We have our dress also comes from there. Our shelter also comes from there. Yeah. Initially, neither people were dressing nor they were constructing their houses. Mostly they were living in caves. Okay, so that's why I kept it as a right. Now we will go to next, our national flower. You know this? What is it? Lotus. What is local name? Kamal. Not the Salka? Yes or no? Yes? No. It's not Salka. Many times we get confused. This is Kamal. Right? Most of us believe this Kamal is ours. It is Indian because our Lakshmi sits on that. Brahma has come from the navel part of Vishnu, and on Kamal he was born. All these kind of things we say. But if you see, Buddha also sits on Kamal. And if you look at, there was a beautiful book, Journey of Lotus or History of Lotus. My book was there, I was reading, half I read, someone, a better person has come. I thought it would be useful to him, so I gifted that book to him. Now I forgot the title also. But there they say, now you go to Japan, Lotus is a river. You go to any of the Southeast Asian countries, it is like that. You go to Alexandria, Egypt, it is still river, at least it was earlier. So we don't know exactly where it has originated, how it has traveled, how it has become the religious symbol in almost every religion in these parts, not the later religions. I am talking about the earlier religions. And it has got a lot of things, and people are learning. And, how many of you have seen lotus leaf? Put some drop of water there, it will not stick, it will roll. Okay, so there is a story for that also. When I was in Germany, there was one great professor, Wilhelm Backlot. He was working on that leaf. You might know, on leaf he was working for how long? He was working for almost 2-3 decades. What he was trying to do, he asked me first. So, lotus you revere, no, in India? I said yes. You tell whatever you know about lotus. I said, what is this, like interview? I told, no, lotus is where Lakshmi resides and all those kind of things. Then whatever I know, few poems on lotus written by people, their observations, how the beetles will go get trapped there in Telugu. There is one poem. Like this, I was going on rolling out whatever I know. Of course, I didn't tell any lies. Then I also told our people in Tamil, we say our relationship should be like water droplet on the lotus leaf. We should be so close, but we should not be so attached. You understand? We should be so close. It is always on the leaf, but we are not attached. But normally what we do, when we attach so much, then when we fight, that's all. For next 25 years, we will not talk to each other. The only friendship is touchwood here. Both of them are like double barrel gun, right from the student days. Okay? So, then he said, yes, that is what I want you to tell. What they were doing experiment, scanning the electron microscope photographs of this to understand the morphology of the surface. Since you are all botany, most of you some minor and all, you should understand this. Why plants are important. They were trying to come out with a surface. For example, our dining table, anything spills, you put one splash of one glass of water, it gets washed away, it doesn't stick. They were trying to design that. They didn't design the surface ultimately, but they came out with a paint. You put in, dust is there, external, take one mug of water and you splash it, your wall is clean. You see our plant and how they have worked. For this, just like that, they didn't do it. To work on this, they had 3 scanning electron microscopes. There were metallurgical engineers who were working, and 20,000 different species leaf surfaces they have scanned. Okay, this is for scientific part of it. But what I am talking is, across the culture, this lotus is worshipped, is revered, and it's a great symbol of wealth. Okay. Why? And who did this? How it has gone up to Egypt, or whether it has come from Egypt, how it has reached up to this one. People mostly relate this to spread of Buddhism. At one stage, Buddhism has gone up to Egypt, even to Greek. Those who are interested, any history teachers are here. There is one book, latest book by William Dalrymple, The Golden Road. Okay, please read. The amazing things are there. How Buddhism has played an important role. Of course, later on, even in Bible, they say that 3 wise men will come and bless or something like that. I'm sorry, I have not read the Bible. There is a reference. They are considered as actually the Buddhist monks, those days who have gone to Middle East and other places. So these are all linked. Our plants are linked to our religion, our rituals, our food, our development, everything. Okay. This is Mahabodhi tree of Gaya. To see this tree, people come from Japan to Sri Lanka to Southeast Asia, wherever Buddhism is there, just to see this tree. But this is, Bodhi tree, under which Gautama Buddha got his enlightenment. But that tree has died. But from the same stock, this is the 6th or 7th generation, people say, just to see this tree. That means, look at the power of the tree in defining our thinking, in the name of the God, etc. Okay? This is very, very important as we go further, both for ethnobotany as well as the sacred groves. That is why I am putting these points in your mind. Okay? Okay, you know what is this tree, at least botanists? Ficus. Oh, Pacha. I thought students will tell. No, local name. You don't worry about Ficus religiosa. Konkani Nasa. Huh? No, you find out. See, if you want enlightenment, you need not even sit under the tree. If you know the Konkani name, automatically it will come to you. Huh? Either people? Okay, correct. Any other name? Chalo, find out. This is not classroom. I will not give the answers. You have to find out. So, trees have such a sacred place in our life. We consider them as equivalent to gods. We consider them as givers. Givers of knowledge, givers of food, everything. Right? Now, we will come to some. These are only examples. What I am showing, now I am marketing that you have to buy these books and read. These were not written by me. Okay. One, Sacred Plants of India by Nandita Krishna and Amritalingam, basically based on sacred groves or the temple trees. You know, Stalavriksha, have you heard about it? Every temple will have one plant as their temple plant. Okay? So those kind of things are also there. Then this is one. I am showing the extremes. And this is one nice book. You need not be a botanist to read that, though it was written by the great ethnobotanist Richard Evans Schultes, The Plants of the Gods. It's a very, very interesting book. If you look at that sacred, healing, and hallucinogenic plants. That hallucinogenic is very important. How? You know hallucinogenic plants, right? One of them is the banned substance, what we call ganja, pot, weed, or whatever it is. But if you look at traditional, indigenous people, they consume. Whereas here it is being pushed so that people will get addicted. There it is taken as part of the ritual. That is why they don't get cooked. It is taken only in the presence of the elders for a particular ritual. That's all. They don't touch it. Here, it is being pushed by mafias. You understand? So you have to understand this. Please stay away from these kind of things. Though it is used ritually, ritual people in India also they use. They have one. And Shivaratri, Holi. Okay? That's all. No one will touch that afterwards. You understood this? So, where we cross that line, the more we are away from the rituals, more we are, we become prone to become addicts. It is the line. Two extremes I am talking about. Not that if you don't follow rituals you will become an addict. It's not like that. As a society, I am talking about. So all these things will come to our mind. Of course, it is a fantastic book. Everything is that sacred, healing as well as hallucinogenic. It's a wonderful book. Those who are interested, please read to understand how the people. We have come to this stage where we can order food on Swiggy or Blinkit or Zomato. How they have come. Today we know this is eatable. We can eat. There is no problem. But who found out? You understood, no? Now you go to any restaurant, they say, which is the famous restaurant in Gonda, no? Whatever. Okay? You go to Panji, each restaurant has our own special, some combination. Here no one takes the credit. Whatever we are eating today, who found out that it can be eaten? It has to be cooked this way and eaten. What IPR, intellectual property, right you gave them? Do you pay any money for them because they found it out? Whereas for modern things we give lot of money, royalty. There we don't give. So we need to respect this particular knowledge. One. Okay, now this one, lot of wild vegetables are cooked and eaten. Mama knows. If mama is very young, then grandma knows at your place. Other than grandma, no one knows. How many of you can cook any wild vegetable? Please raise your hand, including boys. Huh? There is no boys and girls in this. No one. Anyone can cook any wild vegetable? No? God save us. This is what I am going to talk. No, it's okay, it's okay. They don't want to show that they can cook. Because others will pull. I also know that they cannot cook. This is, see, you should not feel shy. You should not feel shy. Because I was in KP college one day. That was, there were some veterinary related things they were doing. I went there for inauguration. I wanted to ask a question. They are all from rural background. How many of you have touched cow dung with your own hands any time in your life? This is the question I asked. I am not asking you right now. I asked them. Shall I ask this question to you? Then I will give the answer. How many of you have touched cow dung with your hand any time in your life? Very good. I'll come to that. Ma'am, I am not finished. With your hand, please raise your hand. Okay, ma'am, you can also raise. Because this, okay, very good. I am really very happy. And I was surprised, more than 90% of the students have raised their hand there. It was a big hall. I felt very happy because they didn't feel shy. They didn't feel that no, it is not nice to accept that I have touched this one, because that is our wealth. Cow dung is our wealth. We have time, I'll discuss it also. So, I am really happy that most of you have raised your hand. Some of you who touched have not raised the hand, that also I know, because you feel shy of what others will think. Let them think anything. Right? We will do what we are supposed to do. Of course, I should also raise my hand. I have touched. Okay. Right. Why I am asking all these things? Certain traditional knowledge, it has not just come like that. People have built up this knowledge over the years, over centuries. Okay, we have to preserve, and I will come to that a little more elaborately later. Now, we are coming specifically to sacred grooves. I am not going to talk on ethnobotany sacred grooves specifically. My purpose is to show you the mirror. What is it? And where do we stand? Are we losing or gaining? And what we are supposed to do? Or at least how we are supposed to think, leave alone doing. So this is this one. Not only as botanists, it is for everyone. Because earlier whoever built this knowledge, no one called them as botanists. Though they worked a lot on the plants. Today agricultural officers are there. You have to do BSc agriculture for that. But every farmer knows when to sow, how to harvest, what to do, how to control the pests, even in conventional way. Whereas agriculture officer will come, okay, you spray this, you spray that, ultimately we will be eating poison. Of course, I am not blaming them. I will also tell how it has saved our species in India. I'll come to that. It all depends on how we proceed. Whatever I promise, I may not do it. Okay? So, what are these sacred grooves? These sacred grooves are basically a forest patch or a small patch of vegetation, sometimes even a single tree. Okay, this is very important. Which is revered, which is worshipped by the people. Okay? They believe this is abode of deities. Our gods reside there, and they are living temples. They may not even have one Murti there to worship. Just they go and worship the plants and then come in most of the places. Some places they have local gods, and all the other gods have entered later. Initially only our local gods, local deities were there in the sacred groups. Then it is actually storehouse of folklore and taboos. I will also tell one, no, I will not tell the story because it is also being recorded. So then it will create a lot of those. Once you violate, what will happen? Okay, it is based on the real incident, not for me, to my student. But I will not tell. Separately I will tell. Okay. This folklore and taboos are associated with that. Why we call them as taboos? Because we don't have any scientific evidence to say that yes, it works that way, right? But they believe in that. That's why we take them. These are sacred groups. One. And if such a big forest is there in Goa, how do they say that this is our sacred group? Actually, I analyzed it by visiting them and also from the satellite imageries. And you see, if it is a continuous forest, for example, Azubachi Rai in Kerala, that will look distinct. The composition of the plants are different, probably water regime is different, everything is different. That's how they choose. That means one way of looking at it, maybe right or wrong, that's a different issue, is that local people, even if there is a continuous patch of forest, they could recognize that this place is distinct from the rest of the forest and they revere it. You understood? It may be a lot of water is available, different types of vegetation, combination of plants are different. Either they understood it and started worshipping, or they didn't understand, so they started worshipping. We don't know. Okay? So this is one. And you go to dry areas, not in Goa and on the other side of the Ghats. Sometimes it would be a single tree. Okay? It will be a sacred tree. Just single tree, far away from the village, all around it is a very dry area. That will be the only shade available there. Even that shade is very, very important. You don't know why they did it. So that is another way of doing it. And I have seen one tree which is of a few acres, banyan tree, near Anantapur in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, single tree, but only thing like our Ixia, central portion has decayed, only the branches are spread, central portion is vacant. So they are not able to establish that it is from the single tree. Okay? So it is not coming in records. So they have given Calcutta tree as the largest. Otherwise this will be the largest. Anyway. Again there is a story. We went and interviewed them. Interesting thing is that particular grove. It is in Telugu, it is known as Timmamma Marimanu. Marimanu means a word. Some at that time, let us say nearly 500 years ago, there was a sati system. You know sati? When husband dies, wife also jumps into that funeral pyre and this one. One such a sati was, I will not go into too many details, why she committed it. And they put the 4 poles. Pyre was there, funeral pyre. They put the 4 poles, put like a machine like, so that she can go up there, from there she can jump. And from one of the pole, that tree has come up. That happened to be the pole of the gourd tree, fresh one. So they revere it. They have a story associated. So we documented that. So sacred groves are basically very close to our heart. But what is the condition now? What is happening? We have to think. That is the very purpose of our interaction today. Before that, we will also see a little bit about ethnography. What is ethnobotany? It is nothing. How people are interacting with the plants. It's not only use, interacting with the plants. Okay? They may worship, they may use it for ritual purpose, they may use it for medicinal purpose, they may use it as a food, they may use it for making something, plows, carts, or even soup, whatever it is. Okay? How they are interacting, this is very important. It is cumulative knowledge, accumulated over generation. It is basically oral. These three things are important. Okay, cumulative knowledge, accumulated over generation, and it is basically oral knowledge. Why we have to emphasize these 3 points? Because now oral knowledge is declining. That's why I asked, when I asked what is that tree, Bodhi tree, the Kokini name, of course, my good friends have told the name, thanks to them, but most of you didn't tell. I don't know why you didn't tell, whether you don't know or you know but you don't want to tell. This, even the names of the plants we are forgetting. Where we will know the knowledge. Okay? So, this one is generally known as ethnobotany. Not necessarily people have to be tribals. This is for your information. Initially it was named, ethnic, which is associated with the tribal and all. It is basically the people and the interaction. It's a little broader term right now. So now, these two, apart from taxonomy and ecology, were very close to the heart of Dr. V.D. Vardhan. That is why I just focused on this. Okay, what will happen if we are not carrying this oral knowledge with us? For example, you go to your grandpa or grandma who is there, if she is there or he is there, ask, what do you know about this plant? What for it is used, that plant? How is it? You know any story, any good stories associated with some plant? They will tell you a lot of things. You ask your papa and mama, same thing. Their knowledge will be maybe 30 or 40% of that. Now you ask, before asking them, how much I know about these trees and plants? No, it is almost close to zero. I don't say, because I also know that some of them know the plants and the uses. That means, within this period, our knowledge is eroding. We are not carrying it forward. So what are we supposed to do now? We have to document it. Otherwise, the knowledge which has accumulated over the years, we are going to lose it within no time. Already we have lost a lot of knowledge. I will come to that probably almost at the end of my lecture. What is the use of it? Okay. Now, we will see one interesting story. Why trees are important? Do you see some trees there now that was planted later? This is known as Easter Island in Pacific Ocean. The closest any inhabited place is more than 1,000 kilometers. And around 12,000, initially they thought it is 800 AD, but around 1200 AD, people went and settled there. How they have traveled in ocean for so many kilometers? They never had ship, they never had airplane or helicopter, nothing. They went by some canoes, catamarans, whatever it is. They floated and floated. How much food they must have carried? No, they must have been catching the fish and eating on the way. How many people went? We don't have any idea. This is only based on the archaeological evidence. They say they went and settled there. They prospered. They prospered. It is a small island. You see the shape of the island there down. It is about 70-75 square kilometers area. One side there are rocks, otherwise all around it is beach. And you can see the Easter Island position there, the top left hand. And these are the sculptures which they carved. And if you go and stand, you will be coming up to this. Okay, you go and stand from here to here, you will come up to this. Means what is the height? Now several questions come. What are the things they were having to carve this? And if you see, look at it, there is one blue letter in the lower map. That is the place where stones are available. Whereas you see a lot of stick-like things throughout the beaches. This is where these things are arranged. How did they carry them here? Each one must be several tons in its weight. This was intriguing several people. And one Jared Diamond, of course, a zoologist must be knowing him much more. He is a zoologist turned anthropologist. He wrote a very good book. This one book is known as Collapse. How civilizations have collapsed because we didn't take care of ecology. Okay, that is his point of argument. But many people didn't agree with his argument. That is a different issue. So they put counterpoints. Whatever he is telling is not correct. Okay, that is okay. And if you want to know more about this, go to Easter Island, go to Wikipedia. I put those maps and all are given reference there from Wikipedia. Okay, right. So this, okay, over. Now trees have disappeared. They didn't know that, whether trees were there or not. Then they went, dug up, then they saw fossil evidence. About 22 trees were there. One of the commonest tree was one palm. It's a fossil, now means it has disappeared. That is the name of this. Those things are actually the seeds of that palm, which were still remaining. And vegetation has gone. Why vegetation has gone? And one of the theory proposed by Jared Diamond and all, to transport these big stones, they put those, this one used as rollers, like our ship, once a ship is ready to ride pattas, like, it will go into the sea. Like that they have used. So they were going on cutting the trees. So they disappeared. This is one theory. Another theory is, along with them, probably some rat also has traveled with them. And that rat has eaten away all these seeds. Because the gnawing of, the marks are still there on them. That's archaeological evidence. So there was no seeds to regenerate. Okay. Why am I bringing this example? In one single case, we learn a lot. The plant-animal interaction, the culture, how the disaster to ecology is disasters to the human being. Finally, at the last count, around 1860s or 70s, only 112 people or something, some number was there. It's around that, it is there in Wikipedia. Of course, now people have gone and settled, it is attached to Chile country and all. So, that means they didn't have wood to make canoes, to go into the sea and catch fish. All the peripheral resources have dwindled down. All around those beaches, like you go around our Zuari river and a lot of clams, those shells are there, or go near any restaurant where they serve all this kind of tissue and other things. You will see a lot of things are there as evidences. Finally, they only the peripheral resources they are relying. Then this also led, and among them there was a fight. Then it also led to, since food was scarce, some people say that they have entered into cannibalism. You know cannibalism? Species eating the same species. Means human beings eating the human beings. I don't know how true or false it is, but this is a speculation. So ecological disaster can lead to several consequences. including dwindling of the population, if it is true, cannibalism in this case, and they could not go out and fish because there is no wood to do the canoes, catamaran, whatever it is. So slowly they had to rely only on whatever is available. Slowly it has. This is one example. It's a beautiful example to learn. Please go read about this a little more. So we stop here for time being, and we will take stock of what we have discussed so far. We started with how the plants and people have traveled parallelly, how plants as food has increased their capabilities, including thinking capabilities, the brain capacity, etc. Then how they have entered into agriculture. Then how for ritualistic as well as medicinal purposes plants were used. Then we also enter into so many, how it has spread culturally. For example, lotus example we have seen. Then we have also seen that this reverence to them, one side sacred clues, other side which we named as ethnobotany, their interaction with the plants. This has been constant. We have come to that. Then we have seen one example, how if you don't protect this knowledge, if you don't protect your ecology, if you don't protect your plants, how it will lead to the disaster. Okay? I think that says it all. Now, slowly we will go to few pointers, enough of color photos and other things. Now we will go to some serious discussion. And ma'am said, people love you are humorous. This is a very serious topic. No, I would have been humorous, but for the recording, because they cannot, it has to come spontaneously. So we will avoid. After they put it off, then we will enter into it. So one thing is very clear. As we see from our own knowledge here, I asked you, how many of you can cook the local vegetables? No one raised their hand. Again I ask this question, if you are convinced, please raise your hands. How many of you can cook any one local vegetable? Raise. Be proud, go. Very good. Why you didn't raise early? Very nice. Learn more. Okay? Because when we document the knowledge, we document in a very abstract manner. This is used as a vegetable by these people. That is the simplest. This is cooked and eaten. Or this is mixed with dal and cooked and eaten. That's all. How do they cook? Whether they boil it first, decant the water and cook, or along with the water they put it in mixing. Nothing we know. Whether you also add dal into that and cook simultaneously, or you add dal later, we don't know. That is the knowledge. So, who is more knowledgeable now? You tell me honestly. You are all BSc students. Your grandma is not BSc, I suppose. Right? Who is more knowledgeable? Grandma, no? So go. Do this today. She will be very happy. She will become suspicious. If she is having some money, hey, you are falling on my feet for my money. Right? No, grandma, I realize your value today. The knowledge. Degrees will not give the knowledge. We have to develop it. Okay? You start from your grandma and grandpa. That is the best way to learn botany, and then you supplement with what we learn here, the scientific way of thinking. Even today, my great botany knowledge comes from the field. The people who are uneducated, people who are illiterate, but the people who are great with the plant knowledge. I go and listen to them, I ask the questions, and I learn. Okay? I may be having PhD, I must have retired as a senior professor, but nothing. We have to learn from them. Please learn this. This is one. So, as we get disconnected from nature, now you raised so many people, no hand. You ask the same question, for example, to go to the city. For example, Panchi, some college. You ask this question, very rarely any hand will go. Either for this question or how many of you have touched the powder. They will not. They will not. One, even if someone has touched to come from village and settled there, even people will think what they will think about one. And they will think that I am not modern if I know that I can cook modern vegetable. You take it from me, most of the restaurants in other cities started giving the local food and making a lot of money. Who knows? You can become an entrepreneur if you have this knowledge and also how to grow them. At least you have to collect them from wild. That is why botanical knowledge is very, very important. You understood? So don't underestimate. Botany is one area which gives multiple options for you to become an entrepreneur, to teach, to learn, to mingle with the people. At least that is what has given me. You put me anywhere, I can still talk botany and I can be happy with them. Or they will be happy with me. That is the one. Here anthropologists are there, historians are there. You put me anywhere, chemists are there, I can happily talk chemicals of the plants or history of the plants or how anthropology, the ethnobotany is one example. I can talk easily. Or economics people, yes, how our economy was flourishing at one stage because of the plants. You put me anywhere. Why I am telling not to overrate me? You have the potential to do all these kind of things. Use it wisely. You understand? Right. So, as we get disconnected from nature, we lose the knowledge. Because it is basically oral. We have to document this knowledge. These days, some groups put, we are having forage trip on Sunday. Pay 800 rupees. You know what is that? You take them out, whatever wild fruits are there, you just go on, chunna, kanna, whatever it is. Nature is giving. They don't have knowledge. You have little knowledge, you make money. Nice, no? Please go and learn. That may be your profession tomorrow. Foraging. But our foraging is becoming very, very narrow. How many of you can go on your own and eat all this, recognize these fruits and eat on your own? Only seniors. Not senior citizens, seniors to you. Okay? I am senior citizen. That means with the lesser age, the knowledge is getting disconnected. You understand? So narrowing of foraging, with the result what will happen? We lose the wild diversity because you don't know their value. Why these people are fighting? We have to develop, the big marriage hall we have to construct, shave it off, destroy, because you don't know the value. You are not emotionally connected. You understand? Suppose if one tree, one kanna is there, every summer you go and collect and eat. It is like mother, no? Mother breastfed us, we have connection to mother. Mother Earth is feeding us through these plants. You have that emotional relationship. Right? If you don't have that, you will say, you don't have any value. You ask them, what is this plant? They have already lost the knowledge. They will not say, I don't know. Bakar. You know the meaning of bakar, right? I learned after coming here. Bakar. Tu kidhar rakha? Khan is bakar. What is this plant? The bakar. Why do you want to become bakar when you have so much of value in you, talent in you? We should not. Okay? So we lose biodiversity. You have seen what has happened in Easter Island. Right. Now, we are introducing new cultivars. New cultivars means in agricultural university where are in some now corporate this one, I will come to that also in the last slide. You come out with new cultivar because it is drought resistant, it is disease resistant, the grains will not fall down that easily, so you will get more harvest, more food, more money when you sell. Fine, everything is fine. But the problem is, what happened to your existing diversity? Our colleagues in Goa University have published one book, The Rice Varieties of Goa. Okay, Professor Dr. Shilpa and Professor Krishna, Shilpa Bhosle and Krishna. It's a very beautiful. After 2-3 years they went and they could not find most of the rice varieties because they are not growing it anymore. Through agricultural universities, you are developing, putting crores and crores of rupees, new varieties, but the existing varieties are disappearing because you go and ask anyone in Goa what you are cultivating, Jaya. The old varieties are gone, so we are losing again. Okay? Right. Now probably 10 minutes I will take, because I see casualties. Just like that. And this kind of knowledge has to be documented. And one of the finest document by one Dutch governor who was in Kerala was Hortus Malabaricus, that's the name of the book, 12 volumes book. It is in Latin. It's a very great story. 3 Konkani people have helped him. 3 Konkani people who were in Kochi helped him. See, Konkani is very important. Don't forget your mother tongue. It has got lot of fuss. Only thing now we don't know. And most of them you ask, of course I can't speak Konkani. That's a different issue. But you ask whose mother tongue is Konkani, who is that? We speak English too. Come on, yeah. Don't do that. In this nearly 747 or 750 plants are recorded. They collected the information from local Vaidyas. These 3 Pandits have helped. Bhatt and Pandit, Vinayak Pandit, Bhatt, 3 names are there. Then 30 Ayurvedic physicians sat together to work on that information. Now you ask any of your teachers, they will say peer review. Okay, peer review of the journal article. Here 30 people have reviewed, not 2 people. Sitting together, this information. Then from Malayalam, it has been translated into Portuguese first. From Portuguese, it has been translated into Dutch. From Dutch, it has been translated into Latin. Finally, the book has come in Latin. It was printed in Leiden, Netherlands. And to translate it back into Malayalam, Professor Manilal, I did put his picture here. He got a Padma Shri for that, and the highest award of Netherlands was given to him. Botany professor from Calicut University, who is also our mentor, by the way. So he took 30 years to translate this book back into English and Malayalam. This for your information. Why I am telling so much about this book? Some knowledge has been documented, which is there. We may not be using that knowledge the same way now. Now we can go back. You want to do some medicinal plants research, you want to extract some chemicals, what is useful, you can use these plants directly. It has been time tested, right? One. But I am also having another reason to tell this here, because this is in Latin. These are the 3 people, Ranga Bhatt, Vinayak Pandit and Abdu Bhatt. These are Konkani speaking people. He has put especially their name on one page. I thank these people for this. So, Konkani people have documented, they are involved in documentation. Please listen to this. Now, do you see something on the top? This is mud, right? And you can also see something, some pot there hanging. For what? Soon. Okay, good. You see top left hand? This is a big book. The drawing is this much. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is for your information. First one is our English script, Roman script. Local name they have used there. Kanga. Yeah, something. Second is Malayalam. They have written with the hand and then published it. All Malayalis knows about this book because for the first time Malayalam has seen the print. Initially they were not knowing that this is a botany book. Every Malayalam teacher used to tell. I also worked in Pondicherry government in Mahi, which is in Kerala. One day they were telling, what is Malabarikas? I asked them, do you know that book? Yeah. Do you know? I said, yeah, I know. They were asking, how do you know? I said, I am supposed to ask this question. How do you know? They said, that is the first time Malayalam has seen the print. Have you seen the book? No. I have seen the book. I have referred the book. Right? Which is a botany book. Then they got, I am talking about 1980s end. Okay? Now everyone knows because of Professor Manilal's book, it has got wide publicity. They know. They take it as a pride. Then third one is Arabic. Because all our trade was happening with Arabs at that time. Fourth one is, initially they thought it is Sanskrit. Then they realized it is Konkani. What is written there? Can you read? Mad. Mad. How they pronounce their Mad? Mad. And in my opinion, probably this is the first time Konkani Devanagari script has seen the print. But no one is giving me proper answer. Which is the first one, sir? Koili. Hare Kenna. I am not getting the answer. But feel proud that in this one of the world renowned documentation, 3 Konkani people are involved and Konkani script is appearing. Everyone, not only botanists, everyone should know about this. Okay? And of course, a lot is there to tell about this book alone, but there will not be time. But there was another book which is pioneer for this. By Garcia, oh sorry, it is not D, it is DA. Not DA, it is supposed to be DA. Sorry for that. I was working in the night to put this. You know what is this? Anyone knows Portuguese? Yeah, from here to here. That is the title of the book. What is it? Title of the book, very big title. So, simply we call it as Fas Colloquios for our, because I can't read Portuguese, so we say Fas Colloquios. Okay. What is this? This is the first botany book ever printed from Asia. That happened to be from Goa. That happened to be from Old Goa. That happened to be, there is an arch in front of ICR in Old Goa, St. Paul's Arch. That was St. Paul's College. There, in that printing press, this was printed in 1563. This is third ever book printed in Asia. First book was printed in 1556 from Goa only. First botany book printed also is from Goa in Asia. Okay, that is 1563. This book. And this is very interesting information he gives about Goa's little plants, what are they used and all. Of course, I have given separate lecture on this. What are the things? Some funny things are there, wonderful things are there. You should know. Okay, last year the water. This was the inspiration for the Hothus Malabaris. So again, it starts from Goa. You understood? Right. Be proud about that. Okay, now we will go. What is the connection? Where do we stand? How to understand this biodiversity for our purpose? We will put biodiversity, knowledge. It's not biodiversity when we say not only plants, animals, protecting them. We have to protect, that is separate. I am not even, that is there in the problems. Lot of plants are there, you don't have knowledge how to use them, then what is the use of it? So knowledge has to be protected. Because of this, it has got a lot of implications. I am asking people to document Konkani of different dialects. Requesting people, most of them are not coming forward. We said we will fund, please do it. Slowly they are gradually coming, they are very busy, whatever it is. As you lose the knowledge, language use, you also lose the knowledge of the plants. For example, you go to any interior within Goa. Goa is not interior, but if you consider there are interior areas in Goa, you say that to Gaudamri or anywhere here, Pune, anywhere, wherever you go. Most of the younger generation have shifted to cities. They go once in a week. For example, if any one of you are from that area, grandfather may be there, father will be in Ponda. Father goes once in a week home, maybe to bring some coconuts or to bring some, this one, not for anything else. You never go, I am not coming to village because I have some work, I have to do there, this one, then you take your mobile and watch it. This one, yeah, that's okay. So you don't have that knowledge, and the language which they use, you will not be able to use. The knowledge is associated with that language. So lots of indigenous languages is another major problem. We have already lost lot of languages, and within languages the dialects. For example, Konkani, if you take, 2 months back, 3 months back, this happened. I used to feel, okay, when people speak Konkani, I can understand. Little pride. I can understand. Oh, I cannot speak. Then I went to Gaudamri with my friend, Dylan. I met his father. He was nice talking to me. I didn't understand anything. It's a different dialect. The words are words. Though you speak Konkani, you may not. And within that language is the knowledge embedded. It is based on the use. It is based on how do they use. Everything is embedded there. So this is one casualty. Second, modernization. Of course, we did not say. As we modernize, most of the things. Okay, if you have to order food now, I am giving permission. All of you order food, so we can eat together. You will not order anything from your village. No one is there to supply. You will order what is available. Because modern kitchen, modern preparation, which is easy, which will not decay fast, they can keep it for 1 week and supply to you. Only they will supply that, not other things. You go travel by flights, same this one will be there. Sandwich, cold. We don't know whether it is from that trip or the last week trip. We don't know. Okay, they should not sue me. Then ecosystem degradation. We are losing the plants. We are cutting in the name of the development. As it goes, they are going away from your sight. Along with that, you lose the knowledge. Knowledge is very important. Not only the plants, the knowledge is very important. That is why India stands above all other countries, because out of nearly 20,000 species, more than 8,500, 9,000 species, we have some use. In other countries, that much of knowledge is needed. Then, data. Okay, we want to document. There is no standardization. There is barriers in sharing. No, you cannot share this. This is confidential. Of course, you know, biodiversity, people's biodiversity register. No, it is confidential, but it is people's information. Of course, we discuss at that level. It should not be. But they have their concern. People will steal the data and they go for IPR. Biases in collection and access. I will go wherever my scooter or car can go. I will not walk. I will know through only, on the interview only through my connections. I will not interview a stranger. Because I don't have confidence. Neither he trusts you nor you trust him. So all these things are there. So we have to work on this. That is the main problem in ethnography. Okay. One is that side, knowledge is degrading. Fast degrading, we have to record that, but we have to record it in a proper manner, this data. So these are the two issues. But basic problems, habitat loss, where biodiversity itself is going, over exploitation. Anything, you say something is medicinal, I will go dig out from the nature, sell it and make money, that's all over. Where is this plant? Khatam. Climate change, they are not producing the whatever it is. Pollinators are missing. Over the years it will go. Then pollution, another problem. Invasive species like Chromalina. There are so many, Mycania, Eichhornia, Pistia, Salvia. So many. Okay. So these are the problems. Yes, I think I exceeded the time. Now, people bet on science and technology. Just 2 more slides, don't worry, I finish it fast. Science and technology, which is shaping the world. How many of you believe that science and technology is shaping the world? Raise your hand. Nicely, Bindas. Do this. No one believes that the science and technology is changing the world. Your mobile, your communication, your transport, it is changing. So many people bet on science and technology is shaping the world. Definitely it will help to protect all these things. No. Especially when it comes to biodiversity, it is going ulta. Okay, we are not able to do that. And this science and technology, in whose hands it is, that also matters. Who is controlling your mobile now? Tomorrow if China says, we are not going to export mobiles, we will be without mobiles or components. Someone is controlling, right? Same way. And during our Operation Sindhu, there was this one, Rafale flights. France has not shared the code. So we could not do certain more things which we could have done. So they are controlling. Ultimately, who is controlling? Multinational companies. And indirectly now, like tariff, Trump. They will decide what you are supposed to do. What it has got to do with the biodiversity. If you get hold of this document, the seed war, I make it a point that anything related to biodiversity comes, I talk about this. Seed war. Please watch this. How the politics and the economics are interlinked. How we are slowly losing grip on these resources. To put it simply, in this documentary, it is by a French guy, I have given the name, Clement Montfort and Stanford. I don't know how to pronounce French names. These people have shown it beautifully. Now the multinational companies are trying to take it in their hands. For example, rice, for example. They take it, they genetically modify so that disease resistance, everything, whatever they promise. We also know that cotton, how people have committed suicide after buying that, that's a different story. They take control and they also put a terminator gene into it. Means you cannot grow those seeds again like our farmers do. Every time you have to go there and buy. It might give higher yield, but you are spending more money and it has to be grown in such a manner that you buy this pesticide, you buy this one, everything. So our cost will increase. Finally, we become the slaves of these companies. That is what it says. Whether you believe it or not, that's a different issue. But it's worth watching as concerned citizens. Now the example is seen here now. How many of you are following the Trump trade and tariff? TTT, like RRR. One of the main reasons is they want to push the GMO. Once it comes, it is cheaper, that the productivity is, they are big land lots, there are no laborers there, only machinery is everything. It will be cheaper. Our people, the whole family works in a small farmland, they will cultivate. So these prices cannot compete. So they will stop cultivating. Then we will all become the slaves. We have to buy food from elsewhere. Then whenever they want, they will stop the crop. Gone. Country will be gone. That is one of the. Now, there are so many other reasons. So this is where we are. We are losing the knowledge. We are losing our biodiversity. We are also slowly going away from our ritual. I didn't tell you an example. For example, in South Goa, we went to one. I sent my students. I think Devanand went or someone else went. They went and they no, Kirgatama. No, we want to study. No, you ask the patron. Who is patron? Someone, Mr. Fernandez, for sacred group. But Kona, Dev Kona, Pike there. Pike there. How Fernandez is owning? The person who was owning that sold it. You understood, no? That means we are even going away from these beliefs, trust. So that thing is also slowly fading out. You understood, no? So we have to safeguard. Don't bet everything on science alone. Science is good as far as science is in good hands. But the science, mega science, is not in good hands, but it is in big people, players who will control. Another example is our vaccine during COVID. People were trying to put, they hated India because you are able to produce and distribute it freely in some cases and for the lowest cost in many cases. So they hated, that all will reflect in the tariff. So with these points, see, you connect everything. I have put actually seeds here and there. That's what I said. If these seeds are there in your mind, when they grow, it will form a beautiful canopy, connecting everything. Everything cannot be told in 1 hour, half an hour, whatever it is. So once again, I thank you all. Thank you, sir. Rajita ma'am, Bhageshri ma'am, and all other colleagues, I know, and also our organizing it from Pune as a partner. Okay. And I am honored to associate myself with the great personality, great inspiration, Dr. Bhatt. Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Yes, now you can ask questions, you can suggest, you can share your knowledge. Don't keep the knowledge with you. It should be shared. Knowledge is for sharing. Money you can keep. you want to share, you can share.
Sir, could you elaborate how these youngsters they can go back to their roots and how can we help together?
Question is how these youngsters can go back to the roots. Nothing. Don't feel that you are very special because you are doing BSc. Be a normal person at your home. Learn from your, as I told, from your grandparents. If you don't have grandparents, your neighbor, there will be one more person. Go and meet him or her. Learn. That gives all the knowledge and all the humility. Then you will be a great, you have something to apply your scientific knowledge on. That is the thing. Nothing else. There is no special, you do this, like no, you work out or nothing. Be humble. Open up your mind. Don't see what is the other person's qualification. Every person is having knowledge, especially biodiversity knowledge, is with the people who don't have degrees. That's all, very simple. Then you come here, you talk to ma'am, you talk to sir, you bring chemistry, you bring microbiology, you bring botany, you do some work. That's a different issue. But knowledge, base knowledge is there. It is like, pizza base. Top you put anything you can top up, 3 layers, 2 layers, I don't know, I don't eat pizza. Whatever it is, with a lot of cheese, that cheese, this cheese, it will be drooping, something like that, drooling, whatever. That you can do. Okay, that is the only way. See, why Dr. Vartak is a great personality? Because he was in the field. He was giving scientific interpretation to the knowledge that is there in the field. Through ethnobotany, through sacred rules, through taxonomy. Understood? No? So that is more important. This is not only for botanists, this is for the general public. Anyone can feel that they are part of this. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am, for asking this. Otherwise, I would have gone unsatisfied. Yeah, anything else? You can also contribute. I have observed this. In my village, I do this. To brag, it's good. That's all. I spoke for nearly 1 hour 15 minutes. You should also speak at least once. Chalo, if you are happy, all of you, just give me a smile. Very nice. Thank you.
Form the canopy of knowledge in coming years. To formally conclude the session, may I now invite Ashmita Naik ma'am to propose vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. It is my privilege and honor to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the Department of Botany. First and foremost, I extend a heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest speaker, Professor Janardhan sir, for graciously accepting our invitation and delivering a deeply insightful lecture on the theme Plants and People, Past, Present and Prospects, organized under the late Dr. V.D. Vartak Birth Centenary Year Lecture Series. Sir, your thought-provoking lecture has highlighted the intricate connections between plant life and people in the past and the culture associated with the plants. Your words have truly inspired many of our students to explore the deeper dimensions of plant sciences and the biodiversity conservation. It was a privilege to have you with us, sir. We are truly grateful for the time and effort you took to share your expertise. We are also sincerely thankful to PS management and for providing the necessary infrastructure and the constant support in making such academic events possible. I also take this opportunity to sincerely thank our respected principal, Professor Vikas Pistulekar sir, and Vice Principal, Professor Satish Keruskar sir, for their continuous encouragement and support towards organizing academic and co-curricular events like this. My heartfelt thanks to our head of the department, Dr. Ranjita Savekar ma'am, for organizing today's today's event with great dedication. Her leadership, guidance, and consistent efforts ensured the smooth planning and successful execution of this program. I would also like to express my gratitude to all our teachers, student volunteers, and the technical team for the support, and to each one of you in the audience for your participation. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Thank you.